All right, geometry. This is day 3 of area and circles and sectors. So, area of a circle is pretty basic. I think most of y'all know this stuff. Um, Area of circles, that's the easy part, and of sectors, that's the new part. So, sectors is just a portion of a circle. So, like, that would be a sector. That shaded part would be a sector. So, we need to find that portion of the full circle, right? And then area of a circle, you know it, I know it, you love it, I love it. Area of a circle is equal to pi r squared. So if you have the diameter, you need to divide it by 2 to find the radius, square it, multiply it times pi, and you get the area. If you've been given the area, if you have a number for the area, let's say you have, I don't know, 200, right? Let's say you have the area of 200 units, whatever units are, and you need to find the radius. You're just going to divide both sides by pi. And here we're going to have to use 3.14 or round to the nearest hundredth or thousandth or whatever the thing requires, and then do the square root of both sides to find r. So r would equal whatever the square root of 200 divided by pi would be. So r would equal the square root of 200 divided by pi. And that'd be 7.9, right? So r is equal to 7 point, let's call it 98. Okay, so you can do it both ways. You can plug in a radius and find the area, or you can plug in an area and find the radius, but that's all easy. Now, sectors is just like a slice of pizza, right? So the ratio that you need for this is area of the sector over the area of the circle, and set that equal to degrees of sector over degrees of circle, which is 360, right? So really this is area of that sector over pi r squared, and set that equal to degrees of the sector over 360, right? All right, let's do some problems. Number 5. I'm skipping all the way ahead to number 5 because this portion should be really, really, really easy for you. Number 5. Number 5 is one in the shaded area of that sector. It says it's 70 degrees. It wants to know the area, so it wants to know that one right there. So we have a over pi r squared, and we know that the diameter is 10 centimeters, so it's pi 5 squared, and we set that equal to x, which is, what is that? Degrees of the sector, which is 70 degrees, over 360 in a circle. Cross multiply, and we get 70 times pi times 5 squared, which is 25. So that big number, let's see, 5497.787, and that is equal to 360a. Divide both sides by 360, and we get the area is 15.27, and we were talking about centimeters, but it is squared because it's area. So 15.27 or 15.3 centimeters squared. All right, let's kind of jump ahead past number 6, past number 7. Number 7, it's those are vertical angles, so both sides are 60 degrees, so it's a grand total of 120 degrees. But let's skip ahead to some of the other ones. It's we can find the area of the when we can find the area of a circle and then subtract the shaded area and all that stuff, so we can find portions of our previous answer. So like finding the radius, number 9, finding the radius if the area is 3.5. Right? So we know, let's look at number 9. It gives you a circle. It says this is x feet, and it tells you that the shaded area is 45 degrees, and it says that the area is equal to 3.5 feet squared. So we need to find x, or the radius, okay? So we know that the area of the sector, we're going back to this right here, we know that the area of the sector is 3.5 over area of the circle, which is pi r squared, and our r is going to be an x because we don't know what it is. And we set that equal to the degrees of the sector over 360. We know it's 45 degrees over 360. So 3.5 times 360 and 45 times pi x squared. So 3.5 times 360 is going to be 1260 is equal to 45 times pi, I'll just do it this way, 45 pi x squared, divide both sides by 45, just because I like the prettier numbers. 28 gives you pi x squared, divide both sides by pi, and then square root them. So the square root, to get rid of that guy, and that gives you the square root of 28 over pi is equal to x, or the square root of 28 divided by pi. And you get 2.98, or approximately 3, roughly. So if we were to round to the nearest tenth, it would actually round up to 3.0. So 3.0 was that feet squared for, just 3.0 for feet for our radius. Sound good? All right. Same thing with number 10. And then we're just finding the degrees there. Number 11, you're going to find the area of one of the circles. Let's see here. On paper, number 11, it gives you a shape like this. And all of this stuff is shaded. And then it says all these radiuses, or all these circles are touching. And they're touching the walls too. And then it says that this whole thing is 12 meters. So I know how to find the area of the circle, which is 12, or square. It's got to be a square because 4 equal circles are fitting inside of it. So we know that this is also 12 meters. So we know that the area of that is 144 meters squared. Well, if this is 12 meters, then I know that this can encompass 4 radii. 1, 2, 3, 4. That will give me 4 radii. So I know my radius is 3 meters. So I can find the area of this circle, pi 3 squared, and I'm going to multiply it by 4 to find the area of all 4 circles. And I'm going to subtract that from 144. So 144 minus all of this will give us our answer of the shaded area. Okay. So 144 minus 4 times pi times 3 squared. There's my squared button. I never use that button. Squared. 144 minus 4 because 4 circles, pi times 3 squared because the radius is 3, because this whole thing is 12 and you can fit 4 radius on that. And you get 30.9 meters squared. Okay. The same thing for 12, except for you're going to find the area of the circle and subtract the unshaded triangle. Remember, it's got to be an isosceles triangle because it says 45 degrees in the bottom right hand corner of that triangle, and we know that it has to be a 90 degree base angle because it goes all the way to a diameter. Okay, and then number 13, you're doing a semicircle, so a half circle, and then you're going to find the area of the full circle, divide it in half, and then subtract the area of those other 3 half circles, or 1.5 half circles. All right. Y'all have a great day. If you have any questions, let me know.